Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tammy and this is Misfit Awakening. I help people discover their truth by sharing my truth. So I hope you enjoyed today's topic. I'm going to be talking about the 10 reasons why people care so much about what others think. So I had one of those weeks where people were giving me a lot of crap because I share my views. So it's natural for people to care what other people think, but what we need to do is look further into it, like what are the reasons behind people caring what others think? Like, what do we do to overcome this obstacle of not really taking offense if we think differently? So number one is we don't want to be an outcast. So it's actually built into our DNA that we care about what other people think. So like back in the ancient days, if you did not fit into a certain crowd, you would not get fed, you would not be able to mate with another person, you wouldn't be able to eat. There's many reasons why people wanted to fit in back in the day, and it's a natural occurrence in ourselves that we want to fit in. Like, we as a tribe, as people, want to stick together because it's something that we're so used to. It's for survival. Back in the day, for instance, if we were apart from the crowd, we wouldn't develop social skills, for instance. We would be completely on our own. But we're living in different times now. We are living in times where people have different opinions, and that's okay. And what you need to do is, when you are trying so hard to fit in, you lose who you are. You don't really feel comfortable. You become more nervous being someone that you're not. And this is something I experienced a lot of my life. Was I haven't tried too hard to fit in, but when I did try fit in and pretended to be someone I wasn't, it made things a lot more difficult for me. And I learned to accept myself, and that's when I truly became happy, was when I was my own person. Reason number 2 why we choose to care so much about what other people think is that we want to be normal. Everyone wants to be normal. When we're growing up, like, we are told by our parents, you need to dress this way, you need to go to university, you need to get a degree, you need to get a job, don't do this, don't do that. So we've been basically trained from very young ages that if we are apart from the crowd and we do things that are not so much the norm, we are going to completely stick out and we're not going to fit in. For instance, like my mom, like a few months ago even, told me that I shouldn't talk about certain things because I don't want to be singled out, because when you're singled out, like, the bullying comes and all of that stuff. And I've been one of these people my whole life where I had the weird hairstyles in school. Like, I used to get mocked all the time. I used to have these 2 strands of hair that I used to put down. They actually look like whiskers, and it made me happy to dress that way. And I used to get teased for it, but it was okay because this is what I enjoy. Like, it made me happy, it made me feel good. I used to wear my hair in like funny pigtails, and I used to do some really strange things. I even had these really bright green pants that I used to wear all the time. Now that I look back, they're terrible, but at the time when I wore them as a 10-year-old, it was what I thought was cool. It was what I thought it made me. It was something I enjoyed. For instance, when you're in school as well, like, everyone says that you need to excel at so many different subjects. So people are different. Everyone is different. I was someone who didn't do very well at math, so I would most likely, most of the time, fail math. But I would really excel in other things like art and English and that type of thing. But because we didn't live up to society's ideas of achieving certain grades, we are seen as someone who is maybe lower in society, or someone who doesn't see the world through the eyes of someone who could be mathematically inclined. So this is something I believe is also a really big problem in the education industry, is because, well, in the education system, is because You cannot tell a fish to climb a tree. A monkey can climb a tree, but when you ask a fish who's an animal too, but of a completely different species or a completely different skill set, that fish can't climb that tree. There is something unique to each and every person. Like me being the unique self that I am is making me a happier person. When you truly come into yourself and you are authentic and you are who you want to be, it's like nothing else can happen in the world that is going to upset you. There is nothing in the world that is going to change you from being who you are, because when you live your truth, you become who you truly are. And when you're living your truth for someone else and trying to live up to everyone's expectations, it becomes a living nightmare. Screw being normal, actually. Screw it. Be who you want to be your weird, authentic self. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you should do, if it makes you happy. Number 3, we are so scared of being left out of everything, or being singled out, rather. Let me say that instead. We are so scared of being singled out as that person. I'll give an example. Like when I was fitness modeling, doing fitness shows, I would have to walk into a restaurant with my little cooler box, and I would have to eat differently to a million other people, and people would actually single me out and start questioning everything in my life because I was trying to become a better version of myself by doing something that no one really did, or something that people weren't really used to. For instance, last year I stopped eating pork, chicken and red meat, and I would feel really bad sitting at a table when people had invited me over for dinner because I wasn't eating what they were eating, and it almost made me feel terrible that I had made the decision to be different, and it pressured me into doing something that I didn't really want to do, if you know what I mean. So when you are living for someone else and not living for yourself, you truly begin to look at things a little bit, you become really unhappy. The world is a depressing place because we're living for so many other people. It shouldn't be like that. And you know what, when you know the benefits of something that makes you happy, like if you wake up in the morning and you want to go hike, you go hike, because if that hike's going to make you feel better, when you walk into a room, everyone around you is going to feel that energy, and they're going to feel how good it makes you feel, and you're going to know the benefits of that. So why are you always trying to live up to other people's expectations? When you start a diet and you go out for dinner with friends or family, and you're that one person eating healthy and all the comments start flying at you, why do you want to give up your dreams and what you want to achieve just to please someone else temporarily? You're the one who knows how it's going to make you feel. You're the one who knows how it makes you feel already, if you're already that person. Be the person that you want to be, and don't worry about what other people have to say. It seriously doesn't matter. When you are also ostracized by people that you hang out with, are those people really the type of people you want to be around? Do you want to be ostracized because you don't conform to society and do what everyone else wants you to do, or think the way that everyone else wants you to think? The 4th reason not to care what anyone thinks, I hope you guys like my flowers from my garden, is it's exhausting to be normal. When we are living for everyone else, it can be so draining. You're always living this fake facade of who everyone else wants you to be. How we judge ourselves is based on how others perceive us. So is this how you think? Because this is not how I think. How I judge myself is based on how I feel about myself, not what someone says about something that I feel or something that I think. It's like when we were younger and people were being chosen for the sports team and you were the last one to be chosen. Were you that person who felt like you were worth less because people didn't choose you first? What people need to see is that you need to see yourself as first all the time, because when you see yourself as being first, you don't really care about what other people see or think about you. Like they can choose you last, it doesn't matter. It's like being a child and winning is perceived as how you want to see it. My first fitness competition, I came 8th, but I felt so good about myself because I had achieved something that I probably would never have achieved, stepping on stage 10 kgs heavier a couple months prior before that, and no one knows the process and the journey that I went on. But when people don't come first, second or third, they'll look at those placements and they'll see it as an actual reason as to why they are not winners. I remember a time where I almost gave up my personal training career because I was told by a bully that I would be a really shit trainer and I would never get anywhere, and I'll never make anything of my life. And I was called some really nasty names and picked on quite a lot. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, no one is perfect, but it eventually got to me that I started believing what people were saying about myself because my confidence was so low that I didn't believe that I was a winner. The 5th reason why you should not care what people think is that people are all about people pleasing. People are taught from a very young age. Again, it's so funny how we are taught this from a very young age, that we shouldn't truly find our own happiness but try please everyone else. So when you're younger, when you do good at certain subjects or in a test, you get rewarded. When you just write your name, you get punished. So what we do is we are basically accepting that programming, that if you do not do what you're told, you will be a failure. If you don't do what you're told or please this person by doing this certain thing. I know so many people who have gone to university and studied to be a lawyer, and they are not doing it for themselves, and it's not what they truly want to do. They've done it because their parents have pressured them into doing something like that. Are you being seen in the world as an obedient little soldier and doing things that you are told to do without asking any questions, or saying, listen, I really don't enjoy doing this, why are you making me do it? And still back to the education system, this is a big thing in our education system, is people are not enjoying what they're studying or what they're learning because they're being forced to do things that truly don't interest them. And we do it because we want to please the teachers, we want to please our parents, we want to please everyone around us, and we're constantly in competition with people because we're people-pleasing people. So I refer to this as flip-floppers, like people who change their mind on a daily to please other people, and then who they are around determines who they are going to be. So the thing with people is, the thing with people is 1 minute they could love you, the next minute they will have a completely different perception of you. So this happened to me this week. I'm friends with someone, was friends with someone on Facebook, and just the other day they were saying, thank you so much for sharing your truth and you've really helped me. And then I was called names the other day by the same exact person, and it doesn't mean that that person's a bad person. What it means is that people 1 minute can love you and the next minute they can completely change their mind. The same thing happened with a very good friend of mine. We were friends, and then the next minute she just stopped talking to me, and I'm like, don't understand the freaking reason why at all, because I don't know what I've done, but that person's perception of me changed from one day to the next day completely, without any reason why. Do not please anyone, because you are going to live your whole life living someone else's life and only realize after 10-15 years that you've been living a complete lie of who you are. The 6th reason why people are so concerned with the way that other people think is that people are afraid. They're really afraid to be authentic. They're afraid to truly speak about the things that they're interested in. Like, that's why nerds, if you can say that, have got such good friendships and they last so long, is because they are truly being the people that they want to be. Me, for instance, I wasn't truly living the type of life that I wanted to live when I was in my old friendships. My friends didn't really know who I was. I didn't even know who I was because I wasn't living who I wanted to be. I wasn't speaking about the strange things that I speak about, like UFOs and the deeper meaning to life and consciousness and yoga and meditation and frequencies and light workers and all of these things that I'm really interested in. I didn't speak about them. Some of them I wasn't even interested in a year ago, but it has been something with me that I've had all my life. But because I wasn't speaking about it and I wasn't being who I really am, no one knew me. No one knew who Tammy was. Like, no one. At one point, I was too scared to even be who I truly am during my awakening, because I had experienced something that was so strange that I was too scared to speak about it on social media. So I would go on the groups, like the awakening groups and the light worker groups, and speak about these things, and I actually found people understood what I was talking about, and they were drawn to me, and I actually made friendships on Facebook because of this. But I was too scared to put it out in my real world because I was scared of what people were going to say. I was scared they were going to say I was strange or weird or stupid or dumb. I was called dumb yesterday because I had a different opinion to someone else. People are so worried about being who they are because they're scared of rejection. They're scared of people saying that they are strange. Even when it comes to religion, which is a touchy subject, or even jobs, if you are afraid to say what's truly on your mind, is that the place that you really want to be? If you're scared to ask questions, and if you're scared to give your opinions, that's a sign. Are you scared that people are going to change their perception of you because you're saying something that you feel? If this is the case, then that's something you should totally get out of. That's the reason why I don't feel comfortable in all churches that I've been to, because I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough to ask questions, because you're told, do this, do that, you need to believe this, you need to believe that. And when you start questioning, or even in a job, you start questioning why you're being told to do certain things because it wasn't in your contract. You're scared of what the reaction is going to be when you start standing up for yourself and being who you really, really are. The seventh reason why people may care so much what other people think is that deep down inside, sometimes it may hit a nerve what people are saying. Just like me, sometimes people have said something to me and I have believed a certain way, and something inside me has questioned, like, hey, you know what, maybe they actually do have a point. And same goes with something I've said. Like, people take offense to something if they do not completely agree with it, but try also see where someone is coming from, and do they have a point, and could it possibly be saving your life? For instance, a friend who may be on drugs or have a drinking problem, or even in an abusive relationship. Sometimes when we're told the truth and we're told, look, you're damaging yourself, you need to stop this, like, I really truly care for you. When people also come from a place of caring, you will feel it. When people come from a place of just saying things because they're disagreeing with you, you will feel that too. Are they truly, truly caring about your well-being, or are they just having their say because they want to be heard and they want to disagree and put you on the spot and tell you you're wrong because it's something that they do not think? So you need to also decipher. So is that person damaging themselves and you're really truly worried about them? Is someone is someone coming from a good place? An alcoholic father, for instance. Before my father passed, I had a conversation with my father, and he was concerned because his ex-fiance's children did not, they didn't want to have a relationship with him, and he was saying how he did so much for them. And I turned around to my father and I said to my father, Dad, you have had a problem. You've had a problem your whole life, and you haven't had a relationship with me because of that problem. And when I told him that, he actually got really sad and he started tearing up. And there was some truth that he heard within that statement. Although he didn't like hearing it, he felt that there was some connection as to what I was saying. when we highlight unresolved issues in ourselves, or what you need to do is, if you are taking offense, why are you taking offense? There's always a reason why you're taking offense. So maybe look at it from a different perspective sometimes. The eighth reason why we may care too much what people think is we don't want to lose friends. We don't want to lose people in our lives because we're scared that what we say may offend someone, or we're scared to be our authentic self because we won't be in the clique. Now, I was someone growing up that didn't really care too much about this, thank goodness. And I think it's actually made my journey a lot easier to talk about what really matters to me. Like, my purpose in life is to help people, and it always has been, it always will be, but I didn't quite know how to do it, and this YouTube actually helped me. But if I had to worry so much about what other people think, would I really have started this channel? Would I really have achieved certain things in my life because I would be scared of losing certain people? What's really great with me is I had two friendships, my entire life, and they weren't even very close friendships. I thought they were because it was the only friendship that I had ever known. So I held on to these friendships, and I don't have these friendships anymore. These two relationships I had for 11 years, I don't have anymore, and perhaps that's how my life had worked out, because had I had more friends, it would have been more challenging for me to have spoken my truth, being scared about if I'm going to lose these two people that I've had in my life, the only two people that I've had in my life. And I mean, in ancient times, if people had actually spoken out against certain things, they would actually be killed. Like, this is something that is different in today's society. Would you rather have absolutely no friends at all, or would you have a bunch of friends loving you for a person that you are totally not? Another thing that kind of goes along with not wanting to lose friends is people who truly do love you and people who truly do care for you. They can hear anything in the world about you, and if they know in their heart that it is not true, or they know you well enough, those people are not going to believe the things that other people say. I've been a victim of rumors. A lot of people have. Many people have. The rumors that I've heard about myself, sometimes I look at them and I'm like, where the hell did people get the story from? Like, seriously. And I've had friends that have believed certain rumors about me, and I haven't recently, within the last year, I haven't fought that, because if someone is going to believe something bad that has been said about me and still call themselves my friend, are they really truly a good friend? Are they someone you want in your life? Like, yes, everyone does fall victim to believing false stories, but you need to ask in your heart, is this person truly the person that I know? And the great thing about speaking your truth is that when you do, you attract people who are on the same wavelength as you and the same frequency as you into your life. This is something that I'm experiencing. Is for the first time ever, I'm actually making real, authentic friendships. I've got a friend that I speak to every single day. I've known her a long time, but we speak every single day. I had never experienced that with someone before, and I've been completely honest. This is how I am. This is the things that I battle with. This is the things that I love and the person that I want to be. And that person is completely supportive and they love me. And I'm so happy because I'm actually experiencing what it's like to have a true relationship with someone. The ninth reason why we care too much what other people think is because we're living our lives based on how many likes, shares, or attention, how much attention we're getting on social media. So back in my competing days, when I put up a picture of myself in a bikini, all toned and tanned and really good looking, I would get like a flippin' lot of likes. A lot of likes for me, like 100 likes on Instagram. And then when I used to put up a picture of me looking all normal and or possibly even just my dog, I would get like 20 likes. So what we do is we actually start chasing that person that everyone else likes, and we try be this person all the time. When you are competing, for instance, you are like really low on body fat or whatever, and then when you are finished competing and you start putting on normal weight, you start feeling incredibly bad about yourself because you're comparing yourself to that person that everyone liked. People try go back to that version of themselves. So whose life are you honestly living? Are you living your life for you, or are you living your life for what everyone else wants to see? People also equate their value as to how many likes they get. And you know, like sometimes when people have, for instance, a small YouTube channel like mine, I have like 106 subscribers. Like, yeah, I don't get many views, but you know what, it doesn't matter, because whether I have 50 or 50,000 views, that is not going to define how happy I am. People who have popularity and people who have big crowds following them, that doesn't mean that they are happy. If that is what you are chasing, you need to rethink your life, because you are never ever going to live up to everyone's expectations, because people have got stupid expectations about people. Live up to your own expectation. Do what makes you happy. And if I don't know if you guys have seen that lady holding the phone, and there's a million different eyes behind the phone, and there's like one eye looking back at that screen. Do you want to live your whole life based on this fake person with these filters, and base your worth on what you see on Facebook? Remember, people only see a fraction of what other people's lives are like. So my life could look completely perfect, but what you don't know is that my mom could have cancer, I could be a drug addict, I could be in an abusive relationship. Stop looking and comparing your worth to what other people have on social media and what other people affirm to what being happy is. Like, stop with the likes, stop with the social gratification of what everyone else says you are. The same goes for money. People equate their value to how much money they earn, or how much money their house is worth, or what car they drive. When we move on from this life, there is nothing. Imagine that there was a massive apocalypse and everyone lost everything. What would all of that mean to you? What would it mean? And that's the thing that people are not focusing on in today's life, is we're looking about so much false purpose in life. What really truly matters, like, doesn't matter how many likes you have or how much money you have. It doesn't. What matters is what you do for other people. What matters is that you're living your true authentic self, that you are being the person that you want to be, because that's the only thing that's going to create happiness in your life. The 10th and final reason why is that deep down inside, we know that we already come from a place of oneness. There are many different colors, many different religions, many different belief systems. We've got different beliefs in politics. We've got so many different beliefs in so many different things. Vegans eat a plant-based diet, yet vegans are the ones who judge meat eaters, and vice versa. Same thing with politics. If you don't support Hillary and you support Trump, then you're this bad flippant person because you do not have the same views. If you believe in vaccinations and this person doesn't believe in vaccinations, you're going to be a bad mother, or you've got no clue what you're speaking about because you're not a mother. People are so judgmental, and what they don't realize is that we all come from the same source. We are from one divine source. No two people are the same. We see the world differently. My reality is completely different to someone else's reality. Same thing with depression. People experience depression in different ways. People who tell other people to just get over their depression has never lived one day in someone's mind who has depression. What you need to do is just realize we all come from one, and the only thing that really matters is the one language, and that is love and unity. And we can never ever unite if we are letting everything divide us. How do we unite and stand for one? Like everyone's LGBTQ or whatever they've come up with now. And although it's telling everyone that you can be your own unique self and everyone is different, and we must love ourselves for who we are, it's still creating division because this one has different views on that. If you are a good person, if you come from a good space, if you do good, then who cares how you're getting there? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you call your God. It doesn't matter what you call, what politics you believe in, who you're supporting. There's always a reason why someone has a certain belief. So when we start seeing that, the world will just become a better place, and as long as you're being a good person, that's all that matters. I hope this helps, and if it doesn't, it helped me recording this video. So I hope you guys have a great week. Namaste and be blessed.